Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to another music production video. Today we'll be doing a Project X track breakdown. Project X is the latest hybrid trap and rhythm sample bag, and today we're gonna be doing a breakdown of the preview track from it.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
And then it repeats, there's a build up and it goes to the next drop. Let's go and jump into the elements of the track and see how I made this thing. So this is definitely my best track so far. I'm really happy how it turned out. So let's start with the drop and then we'll just proceed to a different sections. So simply drums. Every single sound from this project is included in the Project X sample bag. So if you want to check it out, check the link in the description. People are saying it's cool. Thank you very much. There's a lot of cool sounds that I like as well. Yeah, so let's start with the drums. So what's happening here? We have a kick and snare. Very simple and very common pattern. Then a hi-hat. Pretty simple. And then this is cool. Like boom. And this is the same kick as is here, but it's being duplicated and it's called a ghost kick. It's not being sidechained, but it's the same kick playing before the main kick, adding a little bit of the swing, and this one is quieter. And then on top of these, the ride is coming in. And then as you can see, it repeats. Also, we have a crash on the second part of the first part of the drop. A really short one. I used a classic mode because in classic mode, the length of the sample is being determined by the length of the MIDI note. In this second part of the first part of the drop, which is here, we have this. Also with the hi-hats. And the main reason I put this here is because before the second part of the drop hits, there has to be a transition element, and speeding up drums works pretty well. So basically we are just adding more energy before the second part of the drop. It's like a build up before the second part, just a rise in energy. Also, every 4 bars there's this reverse kick. Adding a lot of punch. The pattern repeats here. Then we are adding a bass line underneath. No post-processing, a clean serum sound. The way you can make this serum sound yourself is basically take this shape, take this white noise and pitch this up a little bit. And when you distort a certain waveform with a certain white noise, generally with a white noise, it creates this really nice crunch on top of the sound. So that's without the distortion. And with the distortion. Yeah, so that's as simple as that. This is like a signature sound of the song. On the first hit of the drop, or like every 2 bars, it's playing this pattern. Like dun, dun, dun. So on the first hit, we have this brass sound, and this one is playing melody. So this is pretty interesting thing that happens here. Is we have this brass, pretty simple, right? And then we add one OTT and another OTT. And it makes this really heavy on 100%, OTTs on 100%. Of course, the brass sound This one is in the pack as well. So the last element is this one. So this one, this part, like it's also, I think I came up with this brass melody based on this. I heard like this melody, you can hear this melody in here. It layers really nicely. So the main bass, you can say, there's a different variation here. That's a cool sound. Yeah, so basically what it is just a even unprocessed. It's just a glitch sound, multiple glitch sounds chopped up and connected together, and that's the whole bass. That's easy as that. So if you have a Project X already, you can go to glitches, and there's 250 glitches. Oh my god, a huge library. And you have sounds like that. Also, if you go further, you have these, and this one. This is like a must-die sort of growly, squelchy, sort of like watery bass. I really like these ones. So that's the first drop. There's nothing else happening. And the second drop is a little bit different because we are having a serum instance and more layers. So mainly there's a space for a serum sound, and then yeah, basically finding like these happy accidents in glitches is gonna do that work. So the drum pattern is the same, everything is the same apart of this thing. Really cool. We have this glitch that is 132. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Glitch 132 is the exact same one. This one is just pitched 4 semitones up. I don't really remember how I did that, so can't tell you much. It was serum definitely. Layer with this and layer with this one. A little bit of the EQ on each one, some OTT. I can tell you how I made this one because I have a preset still. Basically, the right wavetable, but in this case, as you'll see, wavetable is not doing much. If we turn off filter, it's basically like white noise. It's like a growly white noise. It just doesn't sound like any cool bass. It's not cool, but when you add a filter, I'm gonna turn this off. Also, some distortion, OTT, and chorus for width. And then when we add a filter, works as a tonal delay, and it creates a tone for this sound that makes the whole sound tonal instead of just a white noise playing. So I used a flanger HL6-. You can try also like flanges, basically comp filters, they're gonna work. Basically, you just find a nice place in a cutoff, then you bump up the resonance. As well with this HL width, I don't know what that is. And you will start to get these tonal delays. The higher you go, the longer the feedback will be. So just find a sweet spot. Also, if we... This one, the cutoff changes the pitch of the sound. So that's that, layered with these. It's like a simple one. It's like a Monster 4 with some mirror and not much else. Some LFO on the level. Yeah, and then the second part of the second drop is basically the second part of the first drop. I just duplicated that. So let's go to this breakdown. I've been getting a lot of questions about this sound. And that is really simple, but let me play this back. some of the techniques in music production, like when you're listening to a song and you hear like a really like complex sound and you have no idea how the person made it, but when you actually see the technique, it is really simple. Most of the times the idea behind a sound is really simple. Drums, also remember that these sweeps and risers are doing a lot of work here. At the end of this breakdown, you're speeding up drums. When you speed up drums at the end of the section, it's gonna create a better transition basically. Heavily post-processed pad in the background. Some vocals with the texture mode. I highly recommend using this texture because it's like a granular synthesis. It's really cool to experiment with it. Vocal. And then this one. And then also some impacts and risers and a breeze bass in the background. So let's take a look at this complex, really hard to make sound. Is it? Basically, like, this is the chords and melody. And then you add arpeggiator with style up, rate 1/16, and steps 2, and it creates arps. So what's important here is that to put the steps on 2. Because now this is just, it sticks to like only notes from this MIDIcally, but when you do steps 2, it goes higher to octaves. Really high, and some reverb and delay. Brass in the background, the vocal repeats. And on this clip, in this build-up, there is a transposition modulation to give a lot of tension. Oh, this is cool. I was looking for some like pre-drop samples, and I used PewDiePie one.
Steady.
Steady, steady. That's cool. The brass repeats. Like, this brass is really huge and adds a lot of frequencies. Fills the frequency spectrum really nicely, and like the space and stuff like that. Also, there's this pattern going on. Glitch, brass in the beginning, and drums. And these like tom fills. Drum fill. Yeah, we have like we are teasing the melody from the drop by just putting these sounds here. So this sound and this sound the same, and we are speeding the whole thing up right here. Also build up drums, of course. So it goes like that. As you can hear, for example, when we play this melody, you can hear that it's a little bit distorted, right? So the reason why this track sounds so full is that on the whole master, I used ozone and I put this exciter. And this is basically distorting each band individually with the different distorting amounts and mixes, and it really makes a huge difference. Let me show you. So that's with, and this is without. Sounds cool, but it's not that excited, it's not that full anymore. So it adds a lot of frequencies and it makes the whole thing beefy and hit harder, and I highly recommend that. I didn't touch sub bass. I was like, should I distort the sub bass? I don't know. And then we are going to this one. As you can hear, it's adding some high end. Like a crunchy thing on top. And we have then this band. adds a lot of high frequencies. It makes the whole thing less muddy, basically. Well, high frequencies are adding a lot of air and a lot of presence to the track. Yeah, so even the high end is getting brighter with this mix, with some distortion. Oh. Yeah, so the maximizer is making a sausage here. Really nice, -3 RMS. Why not? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learned something. Make sure to check out the Project X, Hybrid Trap and Rhythm sample pack. Have a nice day and see ya in the next one. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, you can side on that subscribe button. Also, you can visit my site oversample.us for some high quality samples, presets and free sounds.